Just take a few just basic cleansing breaths, just to relax the body and to make the shift. Oh, it's getting darker. And hopefully nobody has to get up because you'll probably break a leg tripping over your neighbor. Just try to downscale a little. It's easier to bring the conscious mind into a restful place when the lights are low. Now what we're going to do in this brief journey exercise to the temple of Zephardon, we're going to use the symbol codes that we have below our feet as our magic carpet. Just as we talked about before, crop circles being frequency carriers put right in the grids. You can do the same with a plate. You can do the same to get yourself into the state of what we'll call ectoplasmic bilocation, which means you're not taking your full body yet. You're just taking an ectoplasmic imprint. Now, I will try to speak louder. When I get into that space, my voice changes too. It modulates, and I kind of get in a spacey. It's a slower pace, slower flash line, and I tend to speak slower too and lower. I'll try to be audible. Okay, now, what we're going to do, and before we do it, I'm going to narrate what it is, so we can just flow through it when we do. We're going to visualize standing in the symbol. We're going to imagine that we're sitting now, and that's okay, but we're going to imagine that we're going to take a few breaths and breathe in. Imagine that there's a gold and silver light field around you, the golden fleece. Imagine that light field is floating around you like a capsule around your body. And you're going to inhale through your skin, not through your lungs. You can inhale there too. But imagine that every cell is going to go and breathe it in. And the inhale, and then hold it for a little bit, and a pause, and then breathe it back out. Take a few breaths of that, skin breathing. Let your skin breathe in the Manet frequency of the golden silver one, of the golden fleece field around you. You have these fields activated. They're just activating, but they're amplified particularly because you've done it in a group setting. So they're available now. The codes that you used today made these frequencies available for you to use now. The more you use them, and the more you use these technologies, the stronger the fields will be able to hold the golden fleece frequency, and the clearer and stronger your projections will be. So for now, we're going to just do some skin breathing. And imagine that a golden version of yourself is forming inside of your body, a replica. It's right inside your body. It's sitting there with you. All of that frequency that you breathed in through the skin is now forming a replica of your atomic structure. And it's right in there inside your body with you. At first, it's like a two-dimensional construct where it's flat, kind of like a cut-out golden shadow. And I don't mean shadow in the negative either. The more you breathe in, doing skin breathing, breathing in the Manet, the more frequency fills out that replica image, and it becomes three-dimensional. And it's just like another you sitting inside of you. And it's made of you. And it's a vehicle. Now, as you're doing this, you are progressively creating in the field a temporary, and it's a very low resonance one right now because your bodies are just remembering how to do this, but you are creating a double Biveka Merkaba, a vehicle that this body that's creating inside of you, that's going to carry your consciousness, can travel in. There are long ways to travel with your golden silver one body, and there are quick ways. Tonight we'll take the quick way, and we're going to imagine that the golden silver one body, and we can do this now, imagine that the golden silver one body inside of you, and every time you breathe, it fills out more frequency into it. Imagine that wherever your left hand is right now, it moves its left hand, which would be inside yours, it moves it further out to the left, but your left hand physical stays there. try to get the feeling of that imprint moving while your physical body is staying in its position. You can try it with a leg as well. As you do this, what you're doing is getting your neurological structure and your consciousness aware of the two different frequencies, so you can move part of your consciousness into the gold and silver one body replica. It's all right if you don't feel the separation yet, if you're saying, okay, I'm sending an arm out to the left, but I'm not feeling it. When you play with this, especially in the sleep state, like if you do it right before bed, or especially when you wake up in the morning, you might wake up actually feeling your body as if you had two of them, and one's in one position and one's in another. I've had that happen, and it's a really odd feeling. And this is the feeling we're going to try to create consciously as we work with projection exercise. So, what we're going to do now is imagine that your gold and silver one self stands up while you're still sitting. Stands up right in front of you. And imagine that it too has a replica of the pages beneath its feet, the pages that have the code. Try to feel the reality of your gold and silver one self standing in front of you. Try to imagine what you look like from behind when you're standing, as if you were looking at the back of your gold and silver one. Try to feel the heat. It's body heat that would radiate because it's really close to you, standing in front of you, as if there's a person there. The more real you can sensually tune in to the presence of that body form you have just created. You have just assembled something out of ectoplasm, a replica of you. And the more you can sense it here, the more you'll be able to stay connected to it when you go on a journey, and the more you will feel a shift in consciousness when you do journey. Because this ectoplasmic body, because you're intending it to do so, will journey. It will go where you tell it to go. But how much of that journey you will feel like you went on will depend on how much of your consciousness you can get focused within the gold and silver one body. So start while we're here. Try to feel as if you were standing. Now, one of the first things that happens when you've been sitting for a while and then you stand up is you usually feel a cool, slightly damp breeze as the air goes under your bottom, because your bottom was sitting there and it gets warm. And then when you stand up, it feels cool for a minute. Try to imagine that you're in your body as if you just stood up. You're in the gold and silver one body, and it feels that cool, whoo, the air behind me shifted because the solid matter of the chair is not behind me anymore. Try to make this as sensually real as possible. Now, it takes some time sometimes to get that sensual connection. It's worth playing with at home to where you can actually feel yourself split in two here. Because if you can do it here, then you will really be able to follow the other part of your consciousness and stay conscious in both places. We do this all the time when we sleep. We journey when we sleep, sometimes where we don't want to go. But to do it while you're awake means you have to be able to hold two sets of frequencies in your body. It means your DNA has to process double time. Because usually when you go to sleep at night, you go drifting, comes back, and the DNA has it in there dormant, but it doesn't activate the frequency, so you don't hold it as conscious memory. So now, try to feel the reality of being in that gold and silver one body. And imagine now in your gold and silver one body that you're holding your hand up, your left hand up in front of your face. And with your gold and silver one eyes, you're looking at your hand, kind of like an infant looks at its hand with amazed wonder. Wow, I have a hand. You just created a body. It's like being an infant coming into a new form. You now have an ectoplasmic form to play with, to journey with, to get to know, and to get to know how to work. It's like it takes infants a while to learn how to walk in things. The ectoplasmic form is much more stable and structurally sound than the astral body. So when you travel with the ectoplasmic body, it doesn't have a lot of the kind of strange aspects of astral travel, where if you think too hard, you go bouncing off walls and you end up in the next county when you're aiming for the door. Those kind of things happen with the astral body. But with the ectoplasmic body, there's more of a solidity to it. It's a little bit more structurally sound in matter and cohesive because of the golden fleece field that it's created of. So now, with the golden fleece body, we'll call it the golden fleece body, it's easier to say. With your golden fleece, gold and silver one body, imagine your golden fleece body is looking down at the papers beneath its feet and realizing and knowing this is indeed a magic carpet. But it's in a hurry tonight. It doesn't want to take the long cruise where you get to look over the edge and see the city go by, and then you go through the liquid light fields and watch everything turn to light and then pop back into matter again on the other side. Because that's what it looks like when you go through the light-sound barriers, when you cross the densities over into the Eka. We'll take that journey another time. Tonight, we just want to get there. Now, we talked about floors, crop circles first, and then floors before. The symbol that is below your feet is a symbol that is alive in energy in one of the floors of one of the rooms of the Ark 11 temple of Zephardun. This particular floor is quite beautiful. It looks like ice, but it's warm. It's made of selenite crystal, and it's kind of a milky clear. You can see through it, but it has a little bit of milkiness to it. And the floors here are wonderful. They're living scalar grids, which means any symbol can come to life within them. It's like being able to change your parquet floor at whim just by what coating you put in. Well, this coating is being put in for us now, and it's going to be a calling card for our groups here. It's going to be these symbols, particularly the Ora Menu symbol, once it's used with a combination of the quanta code activation, is going to be the parquet floor you're going to be standing on when you project there. So imagine now that you're still standing right in front of you, but you're really not going to go anywhere. You're not going to go rushing upward. You're not going to go out the door and to the left. You're simply going to stand there and breathe. More gold and silver one frequency in, skin breathe it in, but now you're skin breathing it in to both the physical body and the gold and silver one body, strengthening, adding more energy, more of your consciousness to the gold and silver one body. As you're standing there, imagine that you are the still point, and you will be unchanged, but the hologram around you is going to shift into a different frequency. You are going to be standing precisely on that same energy pattern, on that same symbol pattern, but it won't be on paper anymore. Try to feel or imagine beneath your feet of your standing gold and silver one body. That, feel the signature, the feeling and the energy of the paper that the symbols are on here. And then as you breathe more frequency in, more of the gold and silver one Mane frequency into the body, the gold and silver one body, imagine that the feeling of the energy signature of the paper beneath your feet begins to change. It takes on a more solid feel. It takes on as if there was a lovely, shiny, but very hard, dense, hard floor. It's not a carpeted floor with paper on top anymore, but it's a warm, beautifully polished selenite crystal floor that holds the exact same pattern. Now imagine yourself, even if you haven't felt a shift with that, imagine yourself now that you are there. And imagine that you look around you with your gold and silver one eyes. And to the left of wherever you are standing, you can hear the sound of what sounds like water running, as if it were a rather strong but indoor, because it has that echo that indoor fountains or waterfalls have. It is an indoor fountain. It was one of the entry points of the healing waters of the temple of Zephyrdun. And this particular fountain is a fountain of, they like to call it the fountain of living memory. Imagine now, even if you can't see it yet, just feel that you're walking with your gold and silver one body off to the left of where it originally stood, where it entered, standing on its code. Imagine you're walking to the left toward the sound of the water. It's getting louder and louder, but it's not a roar, because it's not a huge fountain, just a medium-sized one. We won't give you an image yet as to what the fountain looks like. It would be better for you to find that for yourself. It's what's in it that is important at this time. The fountain of living memory has a very special set of frequencies. They are hydroplasmic liquid light mixed with antimatter frequencies of primal light, both from the dimensional systems and from the ecosystem. This particular fountain has a color of deep emerald green, but it seems like there's a silver mist that every time water falls from the higher level to the lower and splashes, there's like a silver puff of mist or atoms that release. So it's like it is an Amareya fountain. In this Amareya fountain, you can bring back some of the frequencies right now at your first entry to the healing temple that will help you to be able to remember this healing temple and remember the feeling of getting here more clearly, which means this particular entry point will help you to make your next trip and the trips after that clearer and feel more real, where you get more of yourself there. It is a very large fountain. It's just not a very high fountain, but it's very large enough as far as horizontally stretching out, where there's no problem of this many people going all at once and finding their own private spot by this fountain so they can reach in. It's quite a deep fountain, too. You could swim in it, actually. It's more like a huge, huge complex of swimming pools. Now, imagine that your gold and silver one body has come to where it can't walk any further because it is right in front of the fountain. And if you walked further, the shoes of your gold and silver one body would bump into the low, not quite knee-high wall in which the water is falling. With your gold and silver one body, reach out with your left hand, your receiving hand, and imagine that you're putting the hand into the water. Try to feel this water. It feels like water when you put your hand in it, but very quickly you'll notice something different about it. Your hand feels like it's moving in water, but it doesn't feel wet. There's a lightness to this water. Now, for some of you that feel the urge, this is a very private spot, by the way. With your gold and silver one body, only you can see you, unless you command it to let someone see you. That means you're all standing there with each other, but you're all in your private space, so no one can see you. Now that you are at this massive fountain, it is as if you are there all alone, just you and the universe, in the Eka temple of Zephyrdun. Nobody's watching you, no big brother in the sky monitoring you with cameras. If you want to, you can imagine that you're taking your clothes off and skinny dipping in this fountain. If you don't want to, you can just stick your hand in and play with the water a bit. This is a relationship that you're beginning to form with the living liquid light waters of the healing temples of Zephyrdun. It is a relationship that once it is built is indescribably joyful in human terms, and it's hugely healing. For those of you who are going to take the plunge, this water is fascinating It isn't cold and it isn't hot. Whatever the perfect temperature is, it adjusts itself to the frequencies that would feel most comfortable to your body. It's like water that reads you and says, okay, I will be that for you. Because its one desire and intention is to assist you, to love you, which is a state of vibrational harmonization. In these waters, whether you just have your hand floating back and forth in it, or whether you've just rolled up your pants or your skirt up to your knees and you're wading in it, saying, well, I'll think about whether I'm going to sit down or not. Try to feel the aliveness of this water. It's pure God frequency. It has identity, but it has no agenda other than to be and to love and to serve. It is there to co-create with you, and it embraces any healing that you bring to it and say, would you help me heal this? It says thank you, for its desire to be is to love. And if there were no one that wanted healing service from it, its intention, because it was created as a healing fountain. The waters were created as healing waters. They would be denied their purpose if we didn't come to them and say, would you co-create healing with me? So you are doing them a service as well as the water's doing you a service. It's a beautiful relationship of co-creation and balanced giving and receiving. For those of you who are in the fountain, imagine, close on, close off, however you went in. Imagine that you're going to lay down in the fountain now. You're going to sit down first. It's not too deep. If you were sitting, it would be up to about maybe shoulder height. And the ground is not flat inside of it, so there are higher levels and lower levels. So there are places for short people and tall people to sit where they're in to shoulder height. Try to feel, particularly around the heart chakra area of your gold and silver one body, try to feel the presence of this water. It's tingly, it's light, it feels wet and it moves like water, but you don't feel wet. Your skin doesn't feel wet. When you play with visiting these waters and submersing yourself within them, there will come a time when you challenge yourself and you'll realize you can breathe them as well. There's a little fear imprint that comes up when you try to do that because of the programming we have in our bodies from down here, where breathe water, I'll drown. You won't drown in these. They're very breathable. What's nice too is when you get out, you don't get cold and have to grab a towel because you're not wet. But you are cleansed. Now while you're in this water, even if it's just your hand that's in the water, preferably your whole body, because you get more of an impact if you have your whole body in. Think of the most important thing right now in your body, a personal thing, that if you could heal it, you would. Make it simple, make it very specific though, just hold in your mind. All right, if there's a lot of conditions we want to get rid of, let's start with one, the one that bugs me the most. Hold it in mind. Love it for a moment, even though you've probably been fighting it. That just keeps it around longer. Realize it will be transmuted into a higher form of itself as well, whatever the condition is and the energy that's making it up. Tell yourself, the water and the condition, I am ready to leave this relationship now, but I thank you for whatever lessons were involved. May you go in peace. Imagine, if you are laying in the water or sitting in the water, imagine if it's an organ in your body or something that's causing you a problem. Imagine that the sickness part of it actually begins to float out. All of a sudden, it's as if your whole body is like the water, where there's lots of space between the atoms. And through the spaces between the atoms, the imprint of the sickness moves outward from the body and away from the body and out into the water, and it forms an image of whatever it is outside of the body. You can observe it for a moment in your mind's eye there to see if it tells you anything or helps remind you of something that why the sickness was there in the first place. If not, that's okay. And when you are ready, give the command, a loving command, which is simply a statement of affirmation that I am ready now, so let it be done. The water will know what to do, for the water will move through the molecules and the atoms that made up the sickness energy, just as it moved through you when it was releasing the sickness energy from you. And imagine now that all the sickness energy that might have looked dark and convoluted and confused is now turning into little sparkling silver, little tiny silver molecules that are dispersing in the water, transmuting and becoming one with the Amaraya waters. Try to feel the lightness in your body, knowing that, this is gone now, and realizing that as you do this, you are taking layer upon layer of miasmic structure out of your template every time you do this, which means you are affecting the physical condition here as well. Now, you can stay for a long time here. You can even leave yourself there if you'd like. You can leave your gold and silver one body there, or you can bring it back. You may find that if you leave it there, it'll spontaneously pop back up in the dream state. It decided to come home, because you have a part of your consciousness there. It's you. But if you decided you were done hanging out there and you'd like to bring the rest of you back again, you may find that if you leave your gold and silver one body there, you'll find it there in the morning, sleeping with you, but maybe in a different position. That's a marking point, by the way. If you wake up in the morning, any morning, probably when you're least expecting it or looking for it, and you actually feel that, like, say your arm, or say you feel like you're laying on your left side, and you wake up and you almost feel startled for a minute, because you could have swore before you opened your eyes that you were actually laying on your left side, but when you open your eyes you realize you're laying on your physical right side. You're starting to become aware of bilocation ability. You're starting to be able to be awake in the two bodies at once. We're going to come back from the journey now, and this was just a short journey. There are many exciting journeys to take to many temples, but the healing temple is the most important right now, because healing of the damage that has been done to our bodies and our spirits and our minds while we are here in this last very long cosmic cycle. This is first priority. Then we can do all sorts of things once we're free from the things that bind us most. We'll return now. If you're deciding to leave your gold and silver one body there to explore, so you can leave it there with the intention that, okay, well, I'm going to go back because we have to go out to dinner and catch a restaurant before everything closes. It's a Sunday night. However, I can leave my gold and silver one body there, and I can let that part of my consciousness go explore. Maybe I just want to lay here some more and let the water take more of these things away from me that I don't want to hold on to anymore. Or maybe I want to get back out and realize, hey, I don't have to go change my clothes. As soon as you get out, they're dry again, but they feel cleaner. It's as if they went through the laundry. It's as if your body took a bath without even having to use soap. There's a lightness and a crispness. It's almost as if there's a little buzzy singing you can hear from your atoms after coming out of this water. You can go cruise the temple. Send that part of yourself on a journey. See if you run into anybody. Let it do its thing. If you're going to bring your body back, just walk it back over to the spot. Try to feel where the spot was that you left your magic carpet. If you're not going to take your body back with you, imagine that you're a little spark of pale silver light, and you fly out of the head, out of the right ear of the gold and silver one body, and you go flying back to the point where you left your magic carpet, and you land right in the center, and as the spark you'll go back. Now, whether you're in spark form or in gold and silver one body form, focus your conscious attention inside on looking at the selenite floor beneath your feet and seeing what you can remember of what that symbol code looks like. You don't have to try hard, just realize it's there and imagine that you're looking at it. Hold the intention that I will return now. and realize that you are standing still, not moving at all, but your hologram will shift around you and bring you back. We are the still point when we are in the gold and silver one body. And the movies change around us, and we remain constant. Imagine now as you're looking down in your gold and silver one body, or if you're the spark, just imagine you're holding in your awareness that you're sitting as a spark in the middle of this big symbol. Because the symbol would look really big if you turned yourself into the little spark at the center. Imagine now that you're hearing a shift in sound tones. Kind of rapid downscaling. It's very quick and it will be very subtle. Notice too that be you a spark or be you the body, there's a change happening in the air around the body. The feeling of air pressure against the body is changing. It's getting a little duller. It's a little more low, throbbing than it was in the place you just were. There's a little more sensation of temperature here than in the place you just were when you weren't in the water. You're bringing yourself back into this frequency space. Now, whether you've brought your body back with you or you've left it there to venture, be you body or spark, if your body, imagine now that you step backwards and sit back down into the body, the physical body here. And if you are spark, imagine that you move upward and go in the left ear of the physical body and expand into the consciousness here. And before you open your eyes, look down, as it like tip your head down, so when you do open your eyes, the first thing you're looking at are your feet or the paper. Every time you mimic the gesture here that you have there, you help to align the two signatures in frequency. That's why we'll often have you make a movement in your mind and do it with the physical body out here as well. It's about aligning seers, those standing waveforms. So look down at the floor before you open your eyes. And remember the selenite floor you were standing on not too long ago. And now open your eyes and see the floor that is beneath you now. You have returned. This is a brief journey. There are much more detailed ones that are much, much higher frequency. But this has done something. You have passed somewhere that you haven't passed in this body before. You have moved into a place that is physical when you get to a certain resonance within your own gene code. It is a place that, if you were able to fully assimilate the frequencies of your flame body, you would be able to pass through a stargate physically and go touch that fountain. You would be able to physically go in that water. Now, by bringing yourself back with the imprint of that journey, the spark or the gold and silver one body that just went back into your body is now transmitting at a very rapid rate all of that information that it's stored in the ectoplasmic form, either as the spark or the body, transmitting it right into your template, which transmits it right into your electrons. Your electrons, the carrier of the Mane force, will bring these frequencies into your body. You've opened a conduit in each little electron that allows the electrons here to speak with the electrons that were in the gold and silver one body, whether you left it up there or brought it home. The more you do these journeys, the more you will bring in those frequencies of that liquid light water, until one day, there can come a day when you can bring those two frequencies fully together and you can step into that liquid light water with all of your atoms in one place. But the beginning is the bilocation state. It gets easier and more in-depth with practice, and we will be getting technologies to assist with that, to assist us in growing that skill as rapidly as possible. So I think we can come back into this world and try to find the light switches. Who turned them off? Do you know where they are to turn them on? Did one of our guys or did somebody from the hotel? Okay, we'll try to get the lights back on because I wouldn't. Oh, there they are. Oh, oi. It is in your face. Oh. Did anybody get any feel of actually being there this time? Did you really? Good. Good. That's good because very often you have to do it a few times before you even get a feel that you actually got anywhere. But you guys have been working a while. You're pretty advanced, so it doesn't surprise me actually. Now, you can go back there tonight. And if you left your body there, your gold and silver one, to go explore, you can say before you go to bed, okay, I'd like to come and join you, right? And do the process again. But if you left as a spark, remember this, if you're going to go back out, any time that you leave the gold and silver one body there and you came back as a spark, next time leave as a spark and go find the body, or you're going to have clones running around all over up there. I said, if when you go into these type of meditations that you choose to leave the gold and silver one body up there to explore and you choose to come back as a spark of energy, the next time you go out, don't make another gold and silver one body because you will make another gold and silver one body. And if you keep doing that, you will have clones running around all over there and the experience will get less and less real and more diffused because you're breaking up your energy. It's like a light beam. If you focus it like a laser into the one body up there, you have the best chance of having a clear, very real feeling experience the more you do that. But if you make lots of yourselves running around up there, especially when you're first getting used to this, the consciousness diffuses and becomes more fuzzy and more fuzzy and more fuzzy to the point where you can't remember any of it. Yeah. Well, you can drop it down into the magic carpet symbol. And then imagine you're perceiving the same shifts. The hologram around you is changing. You're not on a carpeted floor now. You can feel the selenite floor manifesting underneath you. All right? Be you body or be you spark. You still feel as the consciousness that you are. But it's good to remember, what we were just pointing out, was not to, if you come back as a spark, go back the next time as a spark. You can leave your body there a lot, but don't keep putting more bodies there. Because you don't want an army of clones running around that make it very fuzzy and diffused for you. And they'll get confused too, and that can be dangerous. Because they'll be roaming around lost, up there. And then you'll have having to reel them in, and he'll knock on your door someday in the dream state and say, excuse me, you forgot about 400 parts of yourself here. Would you mind if I return them now? It's getting a little crowded. Anyway, that's the beginning of a new level of technologies that the Guardians are going to be introducing that get much more in-depth than that. And I don't know what more to say, really. It's what time? It's 8:45? Oh, my goodness. Last time I checked, it was 7:30. How'd that happen? It was 45 minutes? Really? And that was a quick one. Gee, I mean, we just went up and, hung out in a fountain for a little bit and came back. Wow. That's weird. To me, it felt like it was only about 15 minutes. That was strange. Did that feel like 45 minutes to you guys? It did. Some of you it did, and some of you it didn't. That's wild. Oh, interesting. Time distortion already. Okay, well, anything that has to be said about what's happening tomorrow, it'll have to be said by you or Mac, because you guys know that. She's already done that. Good. Yeah, because I don't even have that in my head. I just follow him. Whatever we're doing tomorrow. But I would like to thank you all for being with us, and I hope you've enjoyed the workshop part of this thing. If you're coming with us on the trips, we'll get more information on site. If the groups of you that are going without us, because there's groups that are breaking up, you can just run these codes. All you really have to do is go and breathe. But if you want to, you can also do something like the exercise you did today on the beach and run the codes directly. They're more powerful if you do them that way than if you just breathe them regular. So you can do what you want with it. If you want to participate and say, hey, I'm going to help open that temple, that kind of thing, you can do that. Or you can just be there, and just show up and be, whatever you prefer. But some of the sites we'll get more information when we get on them, like Tara. I have no idea why we're going there, but I know we're supposed to. We'll find out when we get there. All I know is in Tara there's a pickup, and in Adair there's a drop-off. So we'll find out more what that means tomorrow. And have a good night, and it was lovely having you guys. We're going to do ordinations. Yes. Thank you.
Here we are, 15 page. Okay, somebody read out loud. Yeah.
We have Rosaline for that one, for Kevin.
Oh, there's more to read if you read. Oh yeah, we did. And then we back around. We went to see the show. Oh my gosh. Right, last request in this box, You're funny, Dan. One of the temples. Silly Chernobyl refugees. Okay, 1 and 2 and say. She always walking behind them. Never real. 1, 2, 3.
Said things. Either's just saying, he's joking.
The yellow chicken. And no sign of you too.
Where'd you go?
What they came down.
It's coming in. They're doing something with it. It's not ours. The first clue were the crow guardians out there. crows are interesting people.
Yeah, we had some company in Sarasota
Yes.
last year.
Yes.
Remember that one on the beach?
We had problems with them. There'd be like a whole fleet of them would come and land on our yard and like cover the front yard, and they wouldn't be on anybody else's.
Wow.
Yeah, it was really eerie. And they're not messengers of good tidings. Let's put it that way. So we were walking and just yeah, we were gonna climb up there, and I looked at it and said, "Oh, I think we better." Yeah, so everybody's standing up here, "Oh, me," yeah, and they walk around this like dark gray color. Oh, neat! It looks like a minefield out there. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
There's a whole series of them. They look like little black holes, little potholes in the it's in the etheric level, the etheric body of the land. And they're all connected, and this pillar's feeding something in, and there's web lines going out, and they have like these black dots on. They're only about this
Remind
big.
me of landmine, sort of the mines that you used to have in the ocean.
Yeah.
You know, like those black Sputnik things,
Yeah.
things sticking.
Yeah,
out.
those strange little landmine things.
Yeah.
All right. There's another pillar. This isn't the main one either. This is a secondary. This is the main one's. I don't even know if it's here at this site. It's way over that way somewhere if it is. Anyway, it's a good place for the songs. we got a fall up here. I want to get a picture of everybody up on the hill. I'll probably have to go way down and over. Anyway.
Better start climbing that ladder now.
Okay. Yes.
Once was the night of a faraway dream. Once was a night when the candle fires burned. Once was a night when the nightingale sings. Once on this night worlds were born. Once on a day when the sun shone its brightest. Once on a day when the breezes rose high. Once on a day when the rivers flowed with sorrow. Once on this day worlds were gone. But today in this moment in the heat of the fire burns a long aching dream of life returned from the pyre. Oh, come near, you life reborn. Come, come, rise from the waters. Come, come, rise from the sea. Reach forth, heart of the lion, bringing out from the ancient lands of destiny. Once were a people pure and of innocence. Once were a people loving and free. Once were a people alive with eternal light. Once were a people a higher in victory. Once came the wind dark and cold from the lonely places. Once came the spawn of the dark fallen sun. Once when the rays of the demons were suffering. Once to make them the higher they were done. But today in this moment in the warmth of the sun rise along hidden peoples of the gold and silver one. Oh, come near, Haile reborn. from the dreamlands. Come, come, rise from memory, reach forth, children of Valhalla Lake. Camelot awaits thee where the golden portals scroll. Now in a dream all the worlds that had gone away, now in a dream looking forward to the dawn. Here in this dream reaching forth to the universe and call to the port of our home. Come, come, open the doorways. Come, come, let us be free. Here now we give up our love to thee, the homeland so long for, sacred Camelot.
The next one, the words is are Zephyr Duna Turda Araya Zortara. Those of you who know the melody can join in. It's an Irish melody. Zephyr Duna Turda Araya Zortara. Zephyr Duna Turda
With the inner vision, we're watching what the pillar is doing, and it got wider but more diffused looking, and the bottom way down in, it's like way down in the earth, it's starting to like roll up and pull itself up. Whatever we've done here has, I guess, cleared the grids under it enough where it can't attach anymore, and it's just slowly, it's not going fast, but it's slowly pulling itself up. It's interesting. Somebody's watching us too. From back that way. I don't know. I don't know if I would do that.
All the little
Funny, right in the area I was getting the
little
image, and there's a
balls
little
that
black
gathered.
cloud.
into one large one.
I was getting the energy from right back there, and there was like a little wavy black cloud just hanging there, and that's right where I was feeling it. I don't think the cloud was watching that.
Maybe what's in it.
Yeah, maybe. I think
The mines are all together in one now, and there are 3 gold and silver rods actually
Yeah.
that are lifting it.
Yeah, I'm seeing the rods coming up.
Mm.
Sometimes it's amazing what the sounds do when, see, we worked with the codes, and we have some of the high, the strongest codes in our bodies now. When we sing the songs, the in-breath and out-breath, we're singing the tones and those codes into the grids, and they're responding really fast. Sometimes it takes a little bit of time. Like round tables used to be right. It's all these little vortices all over the place. After the fact, if you came back like to the beach or whatever, you close your eyes, you could see like little vortices for everybody that was there. It left a vortice, and they stayed for days. So this time we're getting gold and silver rods coming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we should let people know though that there's a data packets here for pretty much everybody.
Yeah.
And they should just roam as they're inclined. If you're drawn to any particular place on your own,
Yeah.
just do that and try and be aware. I mean, you can use the vision to do the vortex scanning, to see that, because little packets are like vortices, little ones.
Yeah.
Right, and you can attach a thread to them, or you can pull them into the pineal
Yeah.
for opening later.
What I tend to do is if I find something, just to make sure it doesn't have any presence I don't want with it, because of these days, the game is on. What I would usually do is, sometimes you can see them, they hang like as if there's crystals hanging in the air. And we walk through them, but when you close your eyes and you do dimension scan, you can actually see them, and you can feel if what you won't. You'll actually only see ones that you could actually access, that you could bring. But then you kind of like throw a Maharata ball at them and roll it up in the Maharata ball and bring it over and like hang it in your field, like a Christmas tree ornament, and so you can get home and play with it later. Where you don't I wouldn't just bring it in at a site where you've had a black pillar.
Hotel room.
Right. When you get home, that's when you kind of like blast it through really good, like you would a crystal before you
Yes.
play with it, and then you can like bring it in and see if you can unravel it and see what's in there. They told us before. The only thing they told us about this site was it was a pickup place. All right, there's a pickup and a drop-off. The drop-off isn't a dare, but this was a pickup. So they call them the time capsule memory crystals that are hanging around here, and just kind of like wander where you want to, and if you feel any particular spot drawing you, just kind of go there and breathe for a little bit. But with the kind of like skin breathe, if there's anything here for me, let it come, that kind of thing. Yeah. So I don't know what we're picking up, but they told us it was just a pickup spot, and that was about it. They didn't tell us about the black pillar.
Yeah, pick up your flame bodies before you go and pick up the packet, if I have to
Yes.
say so. Anybody goes back to the gate to get them, I'll understand.
Yeah, it's a good place to walk as flames.
Yes, absolutely right.
Yes. Yeah, so I guess, maybe we can walk around now.
I just think the only time for some reason.
Here?
The only time?
Okay, I'm getting that goes somewhere else, though.
Okay, right.
Somewhere, I don't know. It's somewhere else. It might be Obelisk, I don't know. It's somewhere else. The Omega goes somewhere else.
Intadoe, Shaddai Ure Akuntan, Akuntan, Shaddai Ure Akuntan, Akuntan, Shaddai Ure Akuntan, Ishura Aru Anjai Lectus Deamir, Ashaluk Taidua, Orata Tegita, Ashureta Tegia, Orumita Isa, Was a night when the nightingales sing. One song this night worlds were born. Once on a day when the sun shone its brightest. Once on a day when the breezes rose high. Once on a day when the rivers flowed with sorrow. Once on this day worlds were gone. But today, in this moment, in the heat of the fire, burns a long aching dream of life returned from the fire. Oh, come near, new life reborn. Come, come, rise from the waters. Come, come, rise from the sea. Reach forth, heart of the lion, ringing out from the ancient lands of destiny. Once were a people pure and of innocence. Once were a peoples loving and free. Once were a peoples alive with eternal light. Once were a peoples the higher lay in victory. Once came a wind dark and cold from the lonely places. Once came a storm of the dark fallen sun. Once when the rays of the demons spread suffering, once stricken the higher lay were done. But today, in this moment, in the warmth of the sun, rise the long hidden peoples of the gold and silver one. Oh, come near, highly reborn. Come, come, rise from the dreamlands. Come, come, rise of memory. Reach forth, children of the higher lake. Camelot awaits thee where the golden portals call. Now in a dream all the worlds that had gone away. Now in a dream walking forth to the dawn. Here in this dream reaching forth to the universe and call to the port of our home. Come, come, open the doorways. Come, come, let us be free. Here now we give our love to thee, the homeland so long for, sacred Camelot. Eta, eta,
returns were laden with oil and corn. From Gibraltar his course he'll alter and steer from Malta or the Golden Horn. With his emotion it sails life's ocean, and ne'er a notion he'll soon go ground. So lads and lassies, because life passes, let's raise our goblets for another round. Thank the lady. My lord, this is a thick, rich soup containing spiced parsnip, potato, onion, leek, and some other garden vegetables. Some unsalted butter and some heated fresh cream.
Oh, sounds delicious.
My lord, let me tell you, it looks and smells very good from here. But you are the final arbiter, and my noble guests, I pray your silence for my lord's verdict, because if he doesn't like it, he shall have to be replaced. Does my lord approve? Of course he approves. As she onwards sped, I scratched my head and I gazed at him in prayer. And I said, as I would pass the line to the maiden of brown hair. He smiled at me and with pride says he was the gem of Ireland's crown. Young Rosie McCann from the banks of the Bank, she's the star of the county down. From Bantry-Vale to Derry, from Galway down to town. No maid I've seen like the brown Colleen I met in the county down. At the harvest fair she'll be surely there, so I'll dress in me Sunday clothes. And I'll try sheep's eyes and the Lutheran lies on the heart of my nut brown rose. No pipe I'll smoke, no horse I'll yoke, no me plough in rust or brown. Till a smiling bride by my own fireside sits the star of the county down. From Bantry-Vale to Derry, from Galway to Dublin town. No maid I've seen like the brown Colleen. She's the star of the county town. Thank you, my lords and ladies. Thank you. For my lady Josephine, my lady.
Your second remove this evening, my noble guest, is Aloes Royale. Spare ribs! The recipe for this wholesome and nourishing dish has been kept a closely guarded secret. We boast that it is the best flavoured pork dish to be found in all of Ireland.
It is the custom. It is the custom of this house that every evening my lord puts his chef to the test. I shall ask one of the lords here present this evening to savour this Aloes Royale, and be it not the best he has ever tasted, you will see the poor chef's head spiked on the ramparts as you leave this evening.
God.
My lords and ladies, my noble guests, my lord, we beg your opinion of this Aloes Royale. More importantly, the poor chef begs your opinion. My lord, you mean you tasting it? And I do wish to remind the good lord who's tasting this Aloes Royale that be it not to his satisfaction, there is room for 2 heads in the ramparts this evening. Does my lord agree? No. Perhaps you didn't understand. thirsty. No.
My noble guests, this dish is famous for both its quality and its succulence. But before proffering this most exquisite dish to you, your lordship,
My lord!
I must first ensure that it contains no poison. But have no fear, for our brave and most gallant butler, Chiron, caring nothing for his own safety, but mindful only to guard the life of you, his beloved earl.
My lord!
He will first taste it.
I'm not hungry! I'm not hungry!
My lord,
I don't have
please
to
insist
do
that he
it.
can taste the food.
Ladies first!
I'm on a diet.
My lord, to your good health! Indeed to mine.
My lord,
My lord, it's a trifle hot, but it's very good! The ladies of the castle will now continue with a simple Irish song with a simple Irish title, and that is On Cock Oxaloch, or The Cat and the Mouse. Ladies.
the mocker, shoot the stroker, shoot. Honey green, I get a cause, come she let's shoot the mocker, shoot the stroker, shoot. Honey green, I get a cause, come she let's shoot. Shoot the mocker, shoot the stroker, shoot. Honey green, I get a cause, come she let's shoot. Shoot the mocker, shoot the stroker, shoot. Honey green, I get a cause, come she let's shoot. Shoot the mocker, shoot the stroker, Honey green, I get a cause, come she let's shoot. Shoot the mocker, shoot the stroker, Honey green, I get a cause, come she let's shoot. Shoot the mocker, shoot the stroker, Honey green, I get a cause, come she let's shoot. Shoot the mocker, shoot the stroker, Honey green, I get a cause, it's come she let's shoot. Shoot the mocker, shoot the stroker, Honey green, I get a cause, it's come she let's shoot. Shoot the mocker, shoot the stroker, Honey green, I get a cause, it's come she let's shoot. Shoot the mocker, shoot the stroker, Honey green, I get a cause, it's come she let's shoot.
Retire, ye gentle ghosts, the night is done. Silence will once more wrap these fortress walls, shadows will steal back. And round the turrets high, the wind will whisper, and the night will sigh. Bunrattle bids farewell. But before we part, most gallant company, we offer you in song the hand of friendship, in both English and Irish, with the song, Toward the Law, or or give me your hand.